Hello, Crestwood families. My name is Mrs. Dupre, and I'm the elementary computer teacher. And this video is to help you or your student get logged into their Google Chromebook. So I have taken some pictures of different parts of the Chromebook, different screens, and I'm going to just talk through the steps to help you with your Chromebook. So first I'm going to be sharing my screen so you can see these pictures that I'm talking about. So there's a picture here of what it looks like when you open up your Chromebook. And for those of you that haven't used a Chromebook before, your Chromebook basically is a way to access the internet. It does not allow you to save files or download anything. It's basically what we call a web browser. It uses Google Chrome. So when you first open up your Chromebook, it does turn on automatically. And it does still have a power button up here in the top corner of the keyboard. However, as soon as you open it, you'll see a screen. It might show kind of a white screen with the Google Chrome logo, and then it's eventually going to be taking you to a blue screen where you have to actually log in. So for those of you that picked up the packets, and I believe when you were issued the Chromebook, hopefully for those of you that have gotten the Chromebook, there was a label, a sticker, that had the Google account information on it for the student. It had the word Google account / email, and it was highlighted with yellow. Underneath that was where the actual Google email account is listed, and then under that was the password. So you're going to need to locate that sticker, that information, in order to log into the Google Chromebook. If you cannot find it, or you didn't receive one, you'll have to contact your child's teacher to get that information. Once you actually open up the Chromebook, and as I said, it powers on. If it doesn't turn on, you tried the power button and that still did not work, plug it in, make sure your outlet's working, make sure the cord is connected properly, and you might need to charge the battery. So check those things out to make sure it turns on, but it should come up all by itself. Once it's turned on, you'll see a blue screen with a login screen on it. And before you actually log in, you want to make sure when you're at home or wherever you're using your device that you connect to Wi-Fi. It does need to be connected before you can actually log in. So down here, we call this the status bar. You have some tools down here, kind of an upside down triangle looking object. That is your Wi-Fi. So if you go ahead and click on that, it is going to take you to a little menu that looks like this, and it is going to show you available networks that you can connect to, available Wi-Fi networks, just as if you were trying to connect a phone to Wi-Fi. You may have experienced that before. When you do click on that, it will show you a list of available networks. So before I switch to that screen, just a couple other options here. This is where you're also going to be adjusting your sound if you need to, and you'll notice the date is also down here, and make sure your Bluetooth is enabled. When you do click on to see the available networks, you are going to see something that looks similar to this. Definitely make sure this little slider button is to the right there and it's blue. That indicates that your Wi-Fi is actually enabled, it's turned on. It means it's going to locate any network within your area that you have access to. So you are going to have to know if your home network has a password on it. You would have to know that to be able to type it in, because once you click to connect, it will prompt you to put in a password if you have one on your home network. Hopefully you do, and you'll be able to connect that way. So once you are connected, you can go back to this area of the screen where it says sign into your Chromebook. This is specific to Crestwood. The email, even though it says email or phone in that box, the student account is not associated with a phone number at all. So it's not going to work if you put in a phone number. You need to put in the email account that was provided to you. All of the Crestwood accounts start with a 200 number, and it looks something like this. This is a student account. The very beginning of that account, the email, it has 200. It's up to 8 digits. It's all 8 digits, I should say, not up to. It is 8 digits. So you want to make sure you type that properly, exact order that is on the label or the sticker. You're choosing the, typing in the @ symbol, which is shift and number 2 on your keyboard. And then the rest of the email address will be the same for everyone. It is quite lengthy, and it does have to be typed exactly the way it is on the sticker. So you're typing the word students, make sure you're putting in the S at the end of that word, and then you're putting in a period or a dot, CSDM dot K12. Please make sure you're typing in a 1 and not an L. K12 dot MI dot US. No dot at the end. Also, another thing that I have seen that occasionally happens is sometimes students are typing the letter O on their keyboard instead of zeros. Your zeros are going to be as tall as the other numbers in that group. If you're typing an O, it's going to be shorter, or if it's a capital O, it's going to be a little bit fatter than an actual zero. So that could prevent you from logging in if you're using the O's. If you do type it all correctly, it will allow you to get in to put in your password. If you do not, you will get an error message that says user is not found. So you'll have to go back and say, okay, where did I make my mistake? Look for the numbers you've typed to see if maybe you missed one, maybe you typed 2 inadvertently, or you have your letters in an incorrect order. You'll have to check. It has to be exactly what you see on the sticker. Once you have typed it in, and you can go ahead and press your next button, it will then come up to the box to enter in your password. Your password is on the card. It's also an 8-digit number. If you need to turn it on to be able to see what you're typing, you can press the I at the end of that box. As you type, the numbers will show up. If it's turned off, it'll just show the little dots in its place to protect the password. So once you have your password in, if it's all set, you can go ahead and press next. After you press next, you're going to first be taken to this screen. This only comes up the very first time you log into your Google account. It's that terms of agreement, service agreement, I guess you could say, that you might see with other things you've signed up for in the past. It does have a scroll bar over here on the side of your screen. You'll have to scroll down to see towards the bottom, and that's where you'll find the accept button. This is a document that is stored in the profile area of the account, so if you ever need to go back and read it, you can read it again. Once you do choose accept, like I said, next time you log in, that will not appear there. So if you are logging into this and your student has used their Google account in previous years, you will not be seeing this agreement popping up there. Okay, our next one, once you have that, it's going to say you're all set, you're ready to start using your Chromebook. This is also something that just pops up the first time. There is a button down here in the corner that says get started. Once you have landed on the actual home page, so to speak, this is just our Google Chrome browser. So as I said, it's just like going on the internet. You have your different tabs across the top, and over here in the right corner is where you're going to see the account information for the student. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that so you can see it up closer. This is what we call your Google Apps. It's little 9 dots, and this is all the information, or I should say all the different programs that can be used with the account. The letter circle that's here is the first letter of the student name, and you will see, you know, different colors depending on the student account listed there. You'll also notice Gmail is listed there. There will be a separate video that goes through how to use the email account associated with the student account, and also Google Classroom. You can look for those videos as well. If I click on the apps button, I will see these are some of the choices that are with the student account. You can see the Gmail is listed here. Drive is where files are stored. This Google for Education account allows students to create documents, to create spreadsheets, presentations. It has a calendar feature attached to help keep you organized. The Google Meet icon is used for the class meetings, the live class meetings. Sites is not something that we will be creating anytime soon, but that was to create a website. And then your contacts are where you're going to find other users within the Crestwood district. And just as a side note, the email account is only within the Crestwood School District. They will not be receiving mail outside of Crestwood. So if they try to use their username to sign up for a gaming site, and that site has to send an email to verify, it won't go through. So, and then they're just emailing within the Crestwood domain. So that's a little bit about some of the apps that are available. And as we go through, the students will learn more as the year moves on about all of those. When it comes time to close the Chromebook, turn it off, log out, there's a couple different options. If I go back down to the corner again to my little status area and click on that, you will see the button comes back up that now I have an option that I didn't have before that says sign out. So you could click on the sign out button. You could also power it down right from there. The sign out button would really only be used if for some reason someone else was going to sign in on the Chromebook as a different user. You could use the sign out button for that. But if you're all set, you can just choose the power button right here. It'll go through the process of just turning it off for you, and then you can just close the lid. If for some reason you do have a need to go ahead and sign out, it'll take you back to that blue screen. Couple options that show up here. There's a shutdown command here. There's an add a person if you do need to add another user, which if it's just that student using it, you probably won't. And then once you do turn it back on, let me go back to that real quick, sorry. Once you do turn it back on, you will see that user is already listed there, and all you have to do is click on it, and they will be able, it'll just prompt for the password, and then it will let you back into the Google Chrome browser. And like I said, if you wanted to just shut down from there, you could do that as well. So hopefully you are able to log your student in, or if you're a student watching this, you're able to log into your Google Chromebook. Check out the other videos on how to add yourself or your student to your Google Classrooms, and also how to use your email. And there'll be more to come as we continue through our virtual learning. Thank you so much for your patience. Hang in there. There's contact information on the hub to contact teachers. If you need to contact Mr. Dupre with questions, you can do that. My email address is listed there as well. I prefer email address over phone because the phone numbers that are listed are for the different buildings, and I'm not always in those buildings to receive those messages. So email works the best. All right, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.